Welcome back. Okay, Danielle, serious question for you. Have you jumped on the NFT bandwagon yet? We know that NFTs and cryptocurrency have been getting a lot of attention lately, but recent studies show there's actually a giant gender gap when it comes to the crypto market, which could leave women behind, both culturally and financially.
Absolutely. And our next guest co-founded an exclusively female NFT collection called Cryptochicks to highlight the importance of women in the crypto space and reflect the individual uniqueness in every woman. Please welcome into Main Street Living one of the Crypto Chicks, Maddie Lieber. Maddie, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
So Maddie, you have to start with, why is there such a big gender gap in the crypto world?
It's unfortunate. It's very similar to what we see in more traditional industries like tech or finance, right? There are women, there are just significantly less of them, and they're often later adopters or later entrants into the space, which in this world significantly influences our, gender wealth gap and a lot of other disparities, which are really important for us to start working on. So you'll see kind of that these traditional industries are leaning into DEI efforts kind of retroactively, but we're hoping that in building Web3 from the beginning and being early adopters, we can get more women in and kind of build DEI inclusionary efforts into Web3 as it's being built rather than after the fact.
Makes a lot of sense. So exactly how did you come up with this idea and execute it for Cryptochicks?
Yeah. So this actually was created by a brother and sister duo based out of Russia, but with everything kind of ongoing and some of the other challenges, a number of community members actually. So both myself and my co-owner now started as community members, kind of just stepped up, and we were like, we really need to be doing more in this space and doing the right things and making sure that we're taking advantage of this opportunity that we have to really just build up this community of women and make it an accessible entry point for women to get involved in NFTs and the Web3 ecosystem. So we often talk about NFTs as a good gateway concept for people to get more into Web3 and blockchain in general. It's something that everyone can understand, right? Everyone's familiar with the kind of normal purchasing behaviors around wanting something that's uniquely yours, purchasing something because of access to a community, or even just buying something that you like for aesthetics. And NFTs are a great combination of all three of those things in a package that's really easily digestible for people who may not be technical and may not have deep understanding of blockchain technology otherwise. So we basically kind of started getting this NFT project ramped up, revamped, and really focused around the mission of empowering and uplifting women in this space. So we're excited to be expanding kind of past just the JPEG utilization of NFTs into some of the other more interesting use cases.
Well, I'm sure that's helping to build the community like you mentioned. How does the Cryptochicks NFT collection work to make NFTs more inclusive?
Yeah, great question. So we have a holder base of about 5,000 people right now, which is, quite large. They're distributed all around the world, which is fantastic. We pride ourselves on the community being an incredibly inclusive place to join, right? So for new people coming into Web3, oftentimes you can join communities that are require a lot of kind of esoteric knowledge, or you'll see a lot of people using jargon that if you're completely a new entrant into the space, you would not be familiar with, which makes you feel like the group's kind of unapproachable. But in our community, what you'll see is that people ask like silly or newbie questions all the time. And we not only have team members dedicated to answering them, we also have community members who jump in and will do like one-on-one phone calls or even group discussions with new people coming into the space. And then I'll also say we focus, primarily on women as a demographic, not to say that we're exclusionary of anyone else, of course, but we have kind of a number of different initiatives coming out that'll focus on specific personas or individuals that are going and moving up in the NFT space and Web3 as a whole. So right now we're focused on women artists. We just started an ETH fund. So we dedicate some of our profits every quarter specifically to buying up and coming one-of-one pieces, so unique art pieces and NFTs from women artists, which is really fun, super uplifting. We've put them all into a gallery that's virtual, so everyone anywhere in the world can kind of walk through and look at the different art, which is really cool. And then we also are voting on a number of new women artists to build a collection in collaboration with us. And then we are creating a new initiative that I can't tell too much about since it's not fully announced yet, that's helping to basically launch women designers' careers in the Web3 ecosystem, which will be really exciting. So kind of bringing in that fashion element along with the artistry. And we're hoping that over time, we'll be able to focus on kind of different other user journeys and make sure that they kind of smooth out all of the wrinkles that make it really difficult for people to get through each step of the onboarding process.
Absolutely.
Real quick, why is it so important for women to be involved in the crypto space?
This is one of those things where if we don't pull up our own seats to the table right now, then we will unfortunately get left behind. And that's going to significantly influence the amount of wealth that's in women's pockets and our spending capabilities as we kind of move into this new financial system over time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most people think of NFTs, I think, as just a picture. What are some of the interactive ways that Cryptochicks NFTs are being utilized?
Great. Yeah. So it's interesting actually. Every NFT project will do this a little bit differently, right? The utility for the community is different. For us, we recently just participated in Metaverse Fashion Week, which was the first of its kind. So we had a number of different emerging designers where they created digital wearables. So your avatar went into the metaverse, put on, clothing that was Cryptochicks oriented and designed. And then we had a virtual pool party with a virtual DJ who, of course, is a real person in real life else in the world, which is really cool, right? It's kind of like your ticket into this smaller community of people around the world that you've gotten to know, and you can kind of hang out and spend time with them. We also will be able to use the NFTs as voting mechanisms, right? And so in the future world where we want to say, how do we select which women artists we end up partnering with? Each person who holds an NFT has a unique identifier, right? That they are a specific member of our community and we can validate that they are who they say they are. And so we can use accurate voting mechanisms that way. So I think we'll start seeing, a lot of brand partnerships coming down the pipeline, things that are more similar to Web 2, but I expect that some of the Web3 unique angles around, decentralized voting and interaction in the metaverse will be really key utility for NFTs.
Thank you. Some great valuable information here. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, NFTs still very new, so definitely make sure you check out the Cryptochicks because they can give you lots of great information. They're on Twitter, they're on Instagram, and they're still very new to a lot of people. So I love when we have guests on here to help us out. And speaking of helping us out, next we check out a place that is providing help just below the border.